Believe it or not, it is still primary season. There was more primaries held in Colorado and South Carolina, and the Trump-endorsed candidates got absolutely trounced. As David Weigel said, this might be the worst primary night for Trump-endorsed GOP candidates all year. Let's break down these major losses and the trends that are developing. In South Carolina's 3rd congressional district, Sherry Biggs beat the Trump-endorsed Mark Burns. In Colorado's 5th congressional district, Jeff Crank beat the Trump-endorsed Dave Williams. In Colorado's 3rd congressional district, Jeff Hurd beat the Donald Trump-endorsed Ron Hanks. And then in Utah, in the primary for the Senate seat there, Trent Staggs, the MAGA Republican, Trump and Turning Point USA endorsed Utah Senate candidate to take over that Mitt Romney seat, got trounced by a more centrist by the name of John Curtis. Now, one of the trends we're seeing as well is a lot of the pro-Ukraine Republicans, people not endorsed by Donald Trump, winning, and we're seeing significant trends in this direction. And as you know from watching the MeidasTouch Network, we have been covering this trend across all of the primaries. So when we see these types of results going to happen in the general election and the media acts shocked and surprised about what's happening, we're going to say just follow the data about what's happening in these primaries. Let's just take a look. For example, Mayor Trent Staggs in Utah posted the following in April of 2024. I'm honored to have the endorsement of Donald Trump. And Trump says, Trent Staggs is 100% MAGA and is running to fill the Mitt Romney, a total loser seat, as the next senator from the great state of Utah, a highly successful entrepreneur who has served brilliantly as the mayor of Riverton. Okay, you're honored to have that endorsement. The people of Utah were not honored that you had that endorsement. You got destroyed by John Curtis. One of the other things that it shows is green energy and climate action is good policy and good politics. John Curtis, who prevailed in the Republican primary, guess what? He believes climate change is real and believed that there needs to be policies to help our climate. How about that? Let's take a look at one of these other Donald Trump endorsements. Colorado Republican Chairman Dave Williams is running for Congress in Colorado's 5th congressional district. His opponent is endorsed and works closely with Americans for Chinese Prosperity and the Koch disaster. Well, Dave Williams, you lost to Jeff Crank. The Trump endorsement there was not helpful at all. Should we take a look at some of these others? Donald Trump endorses for South Carolina's 3rd congressional district, Pastor Mark Burns. Donald Trump goes, Pastor Mark Burns just filed to run for Congress in South Carolina's 3rd congressional district. There are many great conservatives exploring a run for that seat, but Mark Burns has been with me from the very beginning of our movement to make America great again. Mark will help me secure the border, stop illegal immigration, uphold the rule of law, grow the economy, and protect and defend our laws under siege in the Second Amendment. Well, guess what? Sherry Biggs defeated Mark Burns. Go through any of these people. Ron Hanks, who was running for one of the Colorado congressional seats. We had fun repairing a left-wing ad against me and President Trump. He ain't the president anymore. It says Ron Hanks and Donald Trump, too conservative for Colorado. Then Hanks fixed it and said, or changed it and said, fixed it. Two conservatives for Colorado. Well, guess what? Jeff Hurd beat Ron Hanks. Losing, 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 losing. And I showed you there the fact that Donald Trump endorsed each and every one of these individuals. I think it's also notable that on the Democratic side, in New York's 16th congressional district, George Latimer defeated Jamal Bowman, Congressmember Bowman, who pulled the fire alarm and who many have said has been engaged in too much performative stuff. He voted against the infrastructure bill. showing that Democrats moving in a more centrist direction there, and George Latimer defeating Democratic Congressmember Jamal Bowman by a significant margin as well. That was called at 9:21 p.m. Eastern Time. I guess the one kind of MAGA candidate, though, who had a good night, you want to call it that, who won handily, some are saying, is Lauren Boebert in Colorado's 4th Congressional District in a very, I'm going to stop with the puns, in a very crowded field. Lauren Boebert won in the Republican primary there. And one of the things that Lauren Boebert was out there saying is that one of the reasons you need to elect her is because we need morals back in our nation. Here's what she said on the Bannon show. The 10 Commandments, we need morals, she said. Here, play this clip.
Melting down if you had to put 10 Commandments in the schools out in that part of Colorado, ma'am?
Certainly not in rural Colorado and in Colorado's 4th district. I think that this is something that we need all throughout our nation. And I'm so proud of Governor Jeff Landry. He's a wonderful man, a great friend of mine. And I'm glad that he's in that position and taking action because we need morals back in our nation, back in our schools. And if there's anything that we are going to present in front of our children, it's going to be, it should be the Word of God, because this is the one truth that is never going to change and never going to leave them. It's not some woke fad of the day that you can get canceled for believing in 10 years from now. I
think America is noticing that. I mean, the 4th Congressional District is a plus 17 Republican district. It's very, very, very MAGA in that district. I mean, look, I don't get. We get Lauren Boebert saying things like the most ridiculous stuff. Here, play this clip.
So every so often, Mr. Garcia, maybe you could just lift up that picture of our President Trump sleeping. As you say, I think he's praying. But if he is sleeping, he certainly looks pretty while he sleeps. Maybe it's an endearing moment of prayer, though. I know when I fall asleep on airplanes, my mouth kind of drops open. And, his mouth is kind of tight-lipped, so maybe it's just a somber moment of thought.
He's sleeping. It's been reported by multiple press outlets.
I was in the courtroom today,
sleeping.
and I could see why someone would fall asleep, just like George Conway fell asleep today in the court hearing. It's kind of slow in there. It's not as exciting as the House Oversight Committee, but I just wanted to say that's a lovely picture you have of President Trump, Mr. Garcia. Thank you. And I yield.
Gentlelady.
Or Lauren Boebert saying this. Play this clip.
President Trump, when he was in office, he underwent testing for his cognitive dissonance, for his ability to function as president of the United States.
And of course, you see in the background there what Lauren Boebert vaping on people's faces. I mean, the whole thing is so embarrassing, what she did in the movie theater. I want to show you this clip, though. This is where I think America's going right now. We've been at the forefront of this at the MeidasTouch Network, and I'm very proud of this. It's not about progressive, liberal, conservative, because MAGA ain't conservative. We're trying to develop together a pro-democracy, pro-normalcy coalition here. And have you seen my interview that I did recently with a former Trump supporter, former Nikki Haley voter, Kyle Sweetser? Let me just show you this clip right here, because this is what I think we're seeing with the rejection of Trump. We're seeing the trend in all of these primaries. I showed you that Donald Trump was losing 25% of the vote in closed Republican primaries. We're seeing it over again. Here's what Kyle Sweetser, who voted for Donald Trump twice, had to say when I interviewed him. Play this clip.
The longer you stare at Trump and his record, the worse it gets. So, Trump's cozying up to foreign, basically adversaries. He's, oddly enough, some people don't like me saying this, but he's less conservative than Biden on fiscal responsibility. He added $8 trillion to the debt, even without COVID. He's not fiscally responsible. He gave people a license to act bad out in the open, and I think that the MAGA movement just needs to be destroyed. And I think any rational person that starts listening to Trump instead of directly, instead of having someone else regurgitate what Trump says, I think if you listen to Trump and then you listen to Biden speak, it's night and day. There's no comparison. Trump is unhinged and he's just not fit to lead. Certainly not fit to be the president of the United States.
Anyway, let me know what you think, but a horrible night for the Donald Trump endorsed candidates there. We'll keep you posted, of course, as we learn more. These are trends, folks. Actual data from actual primaries. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million together. Thanks for watching. It's free to subscribe.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.